Hi you guys, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I've pulled out another of my page kits, and this is the fun picture of me rubbing my friend's nose next to the statues that you rub the noses on. If you haven't watched the page prep building page kits video, this is my friend Paolo. He is an astronaut. He's flown to space several times, but at this time he was a training coordinator for the European Space Agency. He's Italian. And we were at a meeting in Cologne, Germany, and apparently you rub these statues' noses for luck, and Paolo has kind of a schnoz, and so he leaned in and let me rub his nose for luck too. So I love that little story. So I pulled out some space paper from my Luna paper pad. It's got hexagons, so I had wrote to myself, let's do hexagon dies, and then maybe on the Cricut or die cut the title. So I have two sets of hexagon dies. These are stitched hexagons in a variety of sizes, and then these are Tim Holtz, and you can cut like a bunch at a time on the Tim Holtz. So I think I'm going to lean into this one, and then I could also maybe use it as a background for the title, and I'm thinking about maybe for luck as the title, or something like that. Not too many letters, not too long, but a little bit funny. So I also have this border paper, and I think I like a little tongue-in-cheek, "You shine like the stars," as a border. And I think what I'll do is I'll cut it here, and leave this strip and this strip to go on here, because that I think looks nice. I might add some more of these, I don't know. I'll figure that out, but I'm going to start with those, and if I change my mind, I can change my mind. I have pulled some ephemera, but we're going to mess with that after I get the base layout done. This is my base paper, the hexagon paper. It is pretty busy, so I'm just wondering if I should put a border on it, or something like that, just to shrink it down a little. So I pulled some cardstock, and I have two options. One is this, I think it's called Cement, probably, Creative Memories. I don't love that. That doesn't really do anything for me. The other one I pulled, though, is what did they call it? It's sparkly, it's shiny, pearlized. I don't remember the word they had for it, but that does more for me, and I really like that, and it's leaning into the shine feeling. So I think I'm going to, and then I'm going to gut this, and then I'll have it to matte my photo with, because I want something a little bit lighter to matte the photo with, but not white, obviously. And I was looking at the scraps that I had. That looks okay, but not great, but I'm really liking this. So I'm going to speed the video up at this point, and you can just watch me create. It should come together relatively quickly. All right, and here we go. The last couple of videos I've had some popping noises. I think it's the microphone on my computer. So I reset my computer. I'm hopeful that that popping noise will not be occurring. If it is, I'll try and figure out a way to diminish it or keep re-recording. There's no fan on, there's no air conditioning, so hopefully this will be all right and not too annoying for you guys. So I gutted the shimmer paper, and now I'm just trimming this. And I think I just did 3/4 of an inch off two sides so that I get just over 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I'm also wanting to ink it because it is a little bit distressed on the edges, and I cut off 2 of those edges, so I want to get those a little more uniform. So I'm using, I think it's the walnut color Distress Oxide. And that just makes it a little more cohesive. And I decide to use my non-repositionable, my permanent tape for this one. I'm not sure why. Wild hair. So I'm really pleased with the way that looks. And then I'm going to cut these strips. I don't cut them as individual strips. I do this as a single border. I like the look of that, and I will make use of that other top part that I cut off to add some layers. I decided I needed a little heavier inking on that. All right, so now I just need to start making a couple of layers for my photo, and then figure out where I want to place it with respect to, and I like it at the bottom better than at the top, so making this bottom shelf. And I'm going to just trim the 3/4 off so that it goes all the way across the page. There'll be quite a few other things that don't go all the way across the page. This is some glitter paper from I think it's probably from scrapbook.com. A 6x8 paper pad. It has all different metallics in it, and it's very handy. I use it quite a bit. It's really nice thin glitter paper. The glitter doesn't come off. It cuts nicely. It's pretty great. So now I'm just looking at, okay, how do I add a few more layers? I don't want this sitting above that blue, so but I did want to add a little more dimension. So I'm looking at this wondering which way do I want to do it, and I definitely felt it needed to go this way. It is not staying there. It's going to stick out a little more. And then the other side of it is this blue paper. So again, I'm just trying to build up some additional layers. To make a basis for embellishments and stuff like that. So I have a whole bunch of embellishments in here. Quite a few of them I cut out of the same paper pad. It's got a couple of pages of cut-aparts and things like this. And so I had rough cut them, and now I'm fussy cutting them out. This one says, "Thank my lucky stars," which, I had talked about doing something for luck. So I think that's going to be fun. I have these little tabs that I pulled from, I don't remember what. I think I only end up using one of these on this page. I had pulled these little floral pieces or leafy bits. I end up not using them. I just felt like I didn't need them. Again, still cutting some more of those little cut apart ephemeras. I liked this camera. I was hoping to use it, but it's got a white background. It just doesn't fit on the page, so I set that aside. This other multi-layered piece is, I think it's from Vicky Boutin Print Shop, and it's, you know, fake layers. So I pulled out this is another Vicky Boutin sheet. I'm not sure which collection it's from, but I think it's going to be a better camera. It's a better size and a better camera, and I can make it work a little more easily on this page. So I just fussy cut it out. So there are a few brown tones and things like that. And now I'm just auditioning things. So I'm going to take all of these little scraps that I had pulled, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of hexagons with them. So I end up using this for my title. It's big enough. It stands out enough, and rather than doing the For Luck title that I'd thought about, I just figured the sky's the limit. And then when I tell the story and I have the Thank My Lucky Stars, I can tell the story that Paolo ends up going into space. So the sky is indeed not the limit for him. And this little piece of ephemera says shine, which again, a little tongue-in-cheek. And this little number 3, I didn't love the color of it, so I get out some ink. I'm going to end up inking on top of that 3 because I didn't like the white. I wanted to cream it up. So I take my antique linen distress oxide and I'm just going to do a little inking on it and then kind of wipe it off. I'm just testing it. I was checking a Wink of Stella to see if that might work, and it was the wrong color blue. So I do put it on my mat and add a little water to thin it out so that I can kind of watercolor on this little tab. And sorry, it's not in a great place in the camera view, but that looks a lot better. So I'm trying to sort of get more used to modifying ephemera and changing things up and cutting parts of it off if I don't need them or like them or whatever. So just trying to really stretch myself there. So I'm pulling out some hexagonal dies, and I took the size that matches and then one size smaller. And I'll go off and cut those, and it will take no time at all. Once I get organized. I'm just trying to do it in as few passes as I can. And that process is done. It's really convenient having 5 of each size hexagon. So this glimmer paper usually cuts all the way through pretty well. This little glitter paper, but it didn't, I didn't put in an extra shim because I forgot, because I was using all the other different papers as well. But it's just hexagons. It was easy to cut that out. They had cut most of the way through. All right, and now I get to start creating some embellishment clusters. And I do want to put one at the top, and then I've got the top of the photo. So it's going to end up being 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. We'll see. So I like that. So I have words at the top left and then down at the bottom right of the page. And then just filling those out to add to those layers. And then this is going to come at the bottom of the photo. So just making sure I remember to ink everything. Sorry about that. Puppy dog, calm down. All right, so lots of hexagons, and then those little bits that I cut. So it's just a matter of finding the right placement. And I want to make sure I have a little bit of that glitter paper in each little cluster, and I think I end up pulling the dark blue out. I may not keep that on this page. So keep watching. I'm pretty sure those go away. Just because I had more than I needed, which I'd rather have too much than not enough. I really like that Vicky Bouton. It's kind of teal and dark blue, not quite navy, but it was just a scrap, and so it added a nice pattern paper to the page. So here I'm just trying to add some definition. I think I end up changing that upper so that that becomes my journaling spot. So this is not the final configuration. This is just auditioning, and then I realize, wait a minute, I need to journal on this page. I need to tell the story, because nobody will know what the heck is going on if I don't do that. So things are about to change and make a lot more sense rather than clusters everywhere. This is where I'm like, aha, journaling. And I'm still not quite sure. Yeah, so I'm just going to move some things around. So that is really closer to that top left. And here I'm deleting the light blue. And I end up not fishtailing these. I usually do, but I decided not to in this case. But it's time to commit. So I'm just still working. I decide to make some double layered hexagons, and I like that plan a little better. Just give them a little more dimension and interest. I promise, we're almost there. I do wish I could have gotten a little more contrast between some of the ephemera and the background paper. I inked them. It's not quite enough. I probably could have done something else, but I'm okay. So by adding these hexagons below that, it does help a little bit. So here I'm just really enveloping the photo, and I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to pop up so that it's more obvious that I'm intending that to be the title. And I really want to get this one more hexagon on there. And so now I have journaling space. I have sort of diagonal embellishments going down. So I added one more, I went and cut two more hexagons out of that glitter paper because I realized I didn't have any glitter paper in this embellishment cluster. And then I wanted to tie that into the top as well. So I think next step is to add some splatters. And I have kind of a coppery metallic watercolor. So I'm going to start with that, but then I end up adding some Nuvo drops to it. I learned recently, I experimented, and if you water down the Nuvo drops, you can splatter them, and then they create a little dimension as well when they dry. Sorry, just got a text. I'll answer it in just a minute. So I start with that, and then I'm like, nope, I'm going to add some Nuvo drops. And this is kind of a golden coppery color. It's really pretty. I've used it before. So you just have to mix it pretty well. Add a little more water, and then we're going to splatter it. And then we'll do close-ups. Well, I thought I was going to be able to switch to real-time audio here, but I was watching the Olympics, so more voiceover. So just finishing that splattering. It's easy to clean up on the silicone mat. That's from scrapbook.com, as you can tell. And let's take a look at some close-ups. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Comment, subscribe to my channel. My goal is to reach 500 subscribers in the next few months. And here I decide I'm going to add some Nuvo drops in the same color that I was using as some big dots, if you will, around the page. And surprisingly, I did not destroy any of them in the process of picking it up and showing you. So we'll get some little bit closer view of these embellishments in just a minute. Love those splatters. Thanks a lot, you guys.